Good morning, Keller Williams. Happy Monday. Believe it or not, I woke up this morning and it was January 25th of 2021. I don't know about the rest of you, but that kind of freaked me out. How can it be January 25th of 2021? Holy cow. The good news is tomorrow will be the 26th. And the day after that, the 27th. Time keeps cruising on, whether we like it or not. Hey, so you know when an event happens, and then over the course of time after that event happens, the more things are looked into, and the more people talk about it, and the more investigation or whatnot there is on a specific event, you get more detail, you get clarity around exactly what occurred. You get better detail, you get more evidence. Well, this morning, I wanted to, this has been probably 9 or 10 months or so in the making. Do you remember when lockdown first started, how you couldn't find toilet paper anywhere? Well, I think we now finally know why. And I wanted to show this quick video just to explain to you where all the toilet paper went. Except, no, I can't find the video. Hold on a second. Ah, there we go. All righty. Thank you so much to Dorothy Darlington who sent that to me, which I just absolutely loved. I don't know about the rest of you. It certainly explains a whole lot about the toilet paper shortage. I'm waiting for the one that is released on the paper towel shortage. So clearly that on a larger scale. Here's number 2 I'll say about that. I don't know about the rest of you. I do not have that kind of patience or that kind of creativity in my head. So kudos to whoever that was. I have a sneaking suspicion, I know who it was. I don't know if he'll actually admit it, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the person who built that was actually my friend, Paul Leibowitz. Paul, was that you?
No, that was not me, Rick, but we are definitely flush with new knowledge now about where all that toilet paper went.
Ah, ba-dum-bum. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Leibowitz, he's here all week, or at least for the next minute and a half. Take it away,
Hello,
Paul.
Keller Williams. I, as Rick said, am Paul Leibowitz with Westport Mortgage, where we are always helping realtors sell and helping buyers buy. So on Friday, I don't know if you caught it, but Fannie Mae released their 2021 forecast, something from their economic and strategic research team, which sounds important. Anyway, what they said was that with the expanding vaccine efforts and potential for enormous fiscal stimulus coming up, with the end of winter, all of this points out to, and I quote, an economy ready to take off once COVID-19 effects begin to subside. So obviously we're in for some good news for the start of 2021. Now, another thing in the report that caught my eye was the forecast for home price growth. Fannie Mae upgraded their estimate from 2020 to say that home price growth was originally forecast at 6.4%. They now think it came in at over 10.3%. And they're doubling their forecast for 2021 to 4.2% growth in home prices. So a lot of good news coming out of Fannie Mae. Now, one of the last statistics was about home refinancing volume. Fannie Mae expects refinancing in 2021 to increase by 20%. That's a whopping number. Now, according to them, there's an estimated 67% of all the outstanding mortgages that they own could see a half-point drop in the current market rates. Think about that. 67% of all the loans that Fannie Mae has out there, they think can go down by 0.5%. It's huge. So please think about all of this good news for both home buyers and for home owners. And that's it for the Mortgage Minute from Westport Mortgage, where we have been your partner at Keller Williams since 2007.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. We appreciate it. And we appreciate the fact that it wasn't you hogging all the toilet paper in Fairfield County. We were concerned.
No, it wasn't me in the store buying it all.
All righty. So let's cruise forward. A couple of quick announcements. We wanted to make sure that you knew a couple of things that were going on before we dive into our main topic this morning. Number one, just some clarity on PPP. That's the Paycheck Protection Program, Payroll Protection Program. Many of you were on that call I did on this a week ago today. One point of clarity: the new rules, which include you having a 25% decrease in income for one quarter, 2019 versus 2020, those rules exist if you are at your second draw. If you didn't draw the first time around, and this time around would be your first draw, that rule does not apply to you. You actually if this is your first draw, even though this is the second round, if this is your first draw, you actually live under the first draw rules, which means that 25% quarter over quarter decrease should not apply to you. Now, again, always check with your lender, always follow the rules that they put out for you. But just a point of clarification on that, because I think in our call, I may have made it sound like anyone who was applying this time around has to follow the second draw rules. But that's only if you are a second draw person, right? If this is your first time around, you actually follow first time around rules. And again, for more information on that, just either watch or rewatch the PPP session we did last Monday. It's on our YouTube channel, or text me with your certain scenario, and I'll be happy to answer to the best of my ability. So for those of you who spent yesterday in front of the couch, we did want to excitedly announce that we now have clarity around who is going to be in the Super Bowl 2 weeks from yesterday, which means, yes, our annual Super Bowl pool will be back. Now, this is, of course, last year's, because this year it's Kansas City and Tampa Bay. The Chiefs and the Buccaneers will be battling it out in 13 days for Super Bowl 50-something, 55, I guess it is this year. So do watch for opportunities to get your name on a square. This is one of the ways we do raise money for KW Cares each year, and give you an opportunity to take 10 or 20 bucks and turn it into 250 or more dollars. So yes, it's our version of gambling and charity all rolled into one. And congratulations to both of those teams on their accomplishments yesterday. I'm excited to tell you that the real estate investment group has now been finalized. Everyone who is on that official list will receive documents to sign throughout the day today. So that's really exciting. And some of you had asked me when the next opportunity there will be. And what I'm going to answer now is we're gonna cruise forward, gather our money this week, get purchasing properties probably starting as soon as next week, and get that all rolling, and then look towards the spring or early summer for opening that up again. So another couple of months, we'll open that up again with a whole nother round of potential investment. Speaking of investment, our insurance investment partners do tell me that that opportunity to invest in our insurance joint venture is on its way. It is not this week or next week, but it is on its way. And right now, whether we get involved in this one or not is still questionable because we're a little bit behind in terms of referrals to the joint venture organization. So what I would encourage you to do is make sure that you're sending that golden email to Sue Ringer as you close, as you have accepted offers, so that those of us who desire to actually invest in that joint venture company are able to. My email, many of you know, late Friday into Saturday morning, my KW email went askew and I still don't have it back. I should have it back within the hour. And so if you sent me something from late Friday through right now, and you sent it to my kw.com email, I didn't get it. I should be able to get the backlog as that gets corrected in the next hour or so. However, if it's something urgent and you thought I ignored you, hopefully you can forgive that and resend it to my scott.rick@comcast.net email this morning, or just give me a little time later this morning to gather the backlog. One other thing, if you haven't gone ahead and purchased or downloaded or done whatever you're going to do, this book called Exactly What to Say by Phil Jones. This is the book that's starting next week, mid to late next week. We're going to host 3 separate masterminds on, just to brainstorm around how do you turn those magic words into perfect scripts for you to use in business with your buyers and your sellers. Again, a couple of people came to me over the weekend saying, you know, there already is an Exactly What to Say for realtors. I get that. However, I'd rather us take the time to utilize local influence in our scripts so that they are more specific and more helpful to you. So go ahead and grab that book, get that read, and we're going to put that on the calendar for next week. And very last but not least, family reunion. There's about 170 or 175 of us who are registered for family reunion. If that is not you, I do encourage you to go ahead and jump online, familyreunion.kw.com, and grab a registration. Do email me if you didn't grab one last week. We may have an extra $80 one or two that we can kind of convert over to you. So let me know if that's something that you desire. Alrighty. So what you've all tuned into this morning is an update on Zillow. So let me get right to that. As most of you know, Zillow is now a Connecticut brokerage, right? That's not just Connecticut. Zillow is doing that across the country. Zillow has said very specifically that the reason they are now a brokerage is so that they can handle the business that's going to come from their iBuyer program. They have made the representation that they are not interested in getting into everyday residential real estate, and that the reason they're a brokerage is to handle the business on their iBuyer program. I think if ultimately you choose to believe that and continue to fund Zillow and continue to fund your own demise, you deserve what's coming to you, right? So here's the take the gloves off conversation we get to have this morning. Nobody on this call gets to be upset about what Zillow has done. And that's because Gary Keller has been telling us for a decade or more to prepare for this day and to prepare for what's coming. And so the reality is Zillow is now a broker. The reality is Zillow has now an IDX feed. They're no longer a vendor. They're a broker. And now that they're not a vendor, there's good news and bad news to that. The fact that they're not a vendor means any contracts they had with real estate companies, they no longer have to honor, right? They've just moved away from being someone that we've hired or that we can pay for stuff to being just competition. Now, the reality is they've always been competition. They've just been masked competition. And so now that they're a broker, they get all of their feeds through IDX, just like Coldwell Banker does, just like we do, just like Sotheby's does, just like Remax does. They're just a broker who gets IDX feeds and shares that with the world. So if your listings don't show up the way you think they should on Zillow, understand that the only thing that Zillow has to do right now in order to be following the rules is make sure that the brokerage of record is showing on the listings that they feature. That's the rule. Just like that's the rule for us, it's the rule for all brokerages with IDX. Some of you have been letting us know that you're unable to claim your sales for 2020. I would certainly reach out to Zillow, but I would not be surprised when you get the information back that says, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. We've stopped doing that. But thanks for playing. I don't know if any of you have reached out. I'm curious to know if there's been any response. Kimberly, I'll get to you in half a second, right? Now, there may be things that go through on Zillow that were hiccups in their transition that will be recovered. There may be things that are not recovered. Remember that Zillow is a competitor. And so what I would encourage you to do is this. I would encourage you to treat Zillow like the competitor that they are. Make choices about how you spend your money with Zillow and start making contingency plans for the eventuality that Zillow as a lead source for you will not exist, because that is where all of this is going. If the handwriting wasn't on the wall for the last decade, it certainly is now, right? Remember also that rentals have shifted on Zillow, right? Rentals are now a paid service on Zillow, albeit a very small amount for paid service, but it's a paid service. You don't just get automatic feeds for your rentals. Reviews, as I understand them, are unchanged as of today. However, like I said, if you've built an entire business around pushing all your folks to Zillow for reviews, I would rethink that. I would start finding another place, Google reviews or Yelp or someplace else where you can compile your reviews and showcase them. Because it is not, I do not believe that those Zillow reviews are going to be there forever, right? So the other piece of good news is that Zillow now as a broker, Zillow now also has to follow all the same rules that you do, including the code of ethics, right? So it allows you to monitor what it is they're doing and raise your hand if they're not playing by the right rules. Just because they're a huge presence doesn't mean they don't have to follow the rules. However, I think for many of you who have built a business around what Zillow has provided, that's not terribly comforting. So let me hear from a couple of you, and then I'll finish with my thoughts about moving forward. So I think Kimberly was first. Go ahead, Kimberly.
Morning, everyone. So about the reviews, my immediate step once I saw that my 2020 Post sales were not there, whereas to copy all my reviews so that I can put them elsewhere, to your point, Rick. The other thing is the Stanford Board of Realtors and the Connecticut Association of Realtors are looking at this as well. To your point, they are now our competitor. So what I'm starting to see on Facebook are some disparaging remarks about Zillow that are coming from other agents, and you want to be very careful about that, as we cannot do disparaging remarks about our colleagues or competing companies like Coldwell Banker or Ravis. Zillow is now one of those. So you can be brought up on ethics charges if you do that. So be very, very careful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great point. Great point, Kimberly. Thank you for that reminder. Right? Again, no, they're no longer a vendor. They're now a competitor, just like if it was another agent or agency. And we have rules that guide our industry in terms of what you can and cannot say publicly around our competitors. Anybody else have experience with having things go sideways? Are they fixing them? What are they telling you? Jeannie, did you have something you wanted to share?
Yeah, I actually have a call today at 12 o'clock with my rep and the manager of my rep. They said by Tuesday, they should have all of the past sales back up. But featured listings, which we were grandfathered in, no longer, they have sunsetted them. So it's definitely, they're moving into a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
I'll follow up. I'll be on the call tomorrow, and I'll let you know what happened with my 12 o'clock call today.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much for that. Right, so here's the good news. The good news is that Zillow is not the be-all, end-all of anyone's business, right? It's just not. And why is Zillow doing this? Zillow is doing this because Zillow can't figure out who Zillow is. If you look at the history of the last 10 years of what Zillow has been, they've been a number of different things. Their main focus has changed over and over and over and over again. They can't quite figure out who they are or what they want to be. They've done a great job of capturing eyeballs, but they're just not sure what to do with them. So this is just another version of Zillow trying to figure out how to actually make money, right? Because like so many tech organizations, Zillow is yet another one of those. For those of you who pay them a whole lot, I'm sorry to tell you that what you pay them is as a drop in the bucket compared to what they spend. And so profits actually matter for organizations to survive. And so this is them continuing to try and figure out where they're headed. Do I see a day where Zillow is an online brokerage? Well, sure. And I think that that's a huge, massive mistake, because they will soon find out that they will go the way of most online brokerages, right? The good news about what you and I do for a living is that we are here boots on the ground. I do not believe the boots on the groundness of our industry is going to change, because if it was going to change, it would have changed already. So I think there is some safety in our industry with regards to doing things the way we do them. However, that said, like I said before, I would start building and executing contingency plans. What else can you be doing? I love the idea of copying all your Zillow reviews, because the reality is they could choose to turn them off tomorrow, and they don't have any. They're not responsible to you for anything. They don't have an obligation to come to you and say, "Hey, we're turning this off tomorrow. You better copy all of this," right? Guys, I've said it once, I'll say it again. You'll hear me say it over and over and over again. They're a competitor. Think like a business owner, not a real estate agent. Zillow got where they are today because they know how real estate agents think. And that's not like business owners. But I'm sorry if that's offensive to anybody on this call. I do not mean it to be. However, it is a truthful statement. Most real estate agents think like real estate agents. and saw Zillow as a way, oh, if I just spend a little money, I don't have to lead generate on my own and can get some leads from them. Awesome. Oh, it's a place where I can send my people to look at reviews about my business. Oh, that's awesome. They're not stupid. They've been doing it for a reason. They've been driving you and the public to their site for a decade. And now they get to pull a switcheroo now that they have the eyeballs and change the rules on the back end. So copy your reviews. Figure out where else you can be posting those reviews. If you're paying for Zillow leads, I don't know, you may want to rethink that. Because it's kind of like you writing a check every month to Coldwell Banker, who, by the way, took the last listing you went on away from you because they got it and not you. And they used your funds to take away your business. I know to some of you that sounds a little paranoid and perhaps over the top. It's exactly what's happening. And again, Gary's been warning us about it for as long as I have been in business with him. So recognize that there's a path forward here. Imagine if all 180,000 of us started to drive people to the KW Consumer app, which was designed and built as a Zillow copycat. There's a reason it looks exactly like Zillow, because the attempt by Gary and his team is to divert eyeballs away from Zillow and to you with a platform that looks just like the Zillow platform. So if you're not utilizing that with at least your database, how are we ever going to move away from Zillow, right? If those of us who have the tool, which is the 180,000 of us inside of this organization, aren't utilizing that tool to help push people away from Zillow and help convert into something that is more you focused rather than some large national aggregator. Dan Raposo, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I'll be honest, like, I'm actually kind of excited by the fact that Zillow has finally entered the brokerage space. And the main reason for that is because now they have to operate in our world. You know, like you were saying before, Rick, Zillow doesn't know how to make money. And they've been throwing a lot of things at the wall. They got it, you know, they developed a lead generation service. And then for those of you who pay for Zillow leads, you probably remember like the debacle of last year where they changed how they were delivering those leads and how it got all screwed up, right? And in some segments, they moved to a referral-based model and that got all screwed. So they're trying a lot of different things. And now they're actually trying to compete directly with us as a brokerage. So I think it's, you know, I'm kind of excited by that idea, because I personally think when it comes to rolling out a new model or working within our space, there are a lot of things. So I just think we need to like Rick's been saying this morning, recognize that Zillow is a competitor, whether they've been acting like it or not for their entire existence. They are a competitor, and now they're saying so head on. They're saying we're getting into the brokerage business. So let's just think of them that way. If you want to still treat them as a lead source and a lead generation source for your business, fine. Just think, like, if Coldwell Banker turned around and offered you leads, but you had to pay them for it, is that something you would consider doing? Right? Redfin has been sending out lots of emails lately saying, you know, become one of our partners and you can pay us referrals. And yet how often would you actually do that? Right. So just think about those kind of things when you're making decisions on how to run and operate your business.
Excellent. Thank you, Dan. And I agree with Dan. I think this is actually good news, because for anybody who didn't get the fact that Zillow is a competitor, now you get it, right? It's very clear, right? They're not hiding it. Nobody's hiding it. It just is what it is, right? Somebody said to me over the weekend, I had a text back and forth with somebody who said, I don't understand. This is not the way they've always behaved. Yes, that's correct. It's now different, right? And that's just the way life and business works. Sometimes it's about this, and then boom, somebody makes a decision and it changes overnight. And that's part of what you're seeing here. Again, my biggest message to you today, and I know we're out of time, my biggest message to you today is please remember that you are in control of your business. Zillow is not in control of your business. You are in control of your business. Just start taking steps to prove that to yourself, to your database, and to the world, that you are in control. Put your arms around all the things that you may have worked with Zillow on and start figuring out where else you're going to go. What I promise to you is that we will put in the next 2 weeks some brainstorming sessions, some masterminds on the schedule. So those of you who choose to can kind of come and put your heads together and we can figure out, okay, where else to go? How else are we going to do? What's the workaround for all of this? Because there's always a path forward, right? There's always a path forward. Zillow is not your business. It was just something convenient over here that some of you used, right? Kimberly, 30 seconds and then we're out.
So Ryan put in the chat that there's a way we can set up our testimonial page on our website. So perhaps when we have that mastermind, we can walk through those steps. And then that way we at least have a united front on how we can do this. So if we have the steps to putting it on our website, the testimonials, steps to how to put it in your Facebook page, steps to how to put it on Google, and it could just be a doc, that would be great for everybody. So that's 3 areas where we're controlling our own testimonials.
Sounds good. We will absolutely make that part of it. Guys, that's what we have for you today. Don't panic. It's all good. Soldier on. Zillow free. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you soon.